Hi, I'm Rodger Kamenetz, and we're here today to talk about nightmares. Have you ever had a dream so frightening that you woke up screaming? Have you ever had a dream so frightening, and I had one once where I ended up almost hitting my spouse in bed? Well, dreams can really terrify us, and when we have a terrifying dream, it's such an unpleasant experience. And we have this special name for them, nightmares. Some people think of nightmares as a special kind of dream. I generally view nightmares as simply a dream in which there are terrible fears. And the question is, why would our dreams want to point us to our fear? Fear is such a basic emotion. All human beings feel fear at a deep core layer. And so when our dreams are pointing us to fear, they're really pointing us to a feeling that may underlie much of what we do in life. A whole lot of our life may be spent trying to avoid feelings of fear because fear is so unpleasant. We may cover it up with anger, for instance. Often people who are angry are really feeling fear underneath it. In fact, we may spend our whole lives trying to avoid feeling basic fear. So in a way we have fear of fear. And what nightmares do is return us to our basic fears and show us what they are. Sometimes we find out we really don't have to be afraid. In my dream, where I was being chased by these guys through dark streets, and I kept running, and I had this dream after dream. And finally, I felt encouraged by my teacher, Mark Bregman, to say, "What are you so afraid of?" And I began to turn and face the men who were chasing me. And when I did that, I found they weren't really scary. In fact, they weren't really chasing me to scare me. They were trying to run after me to help me. And when I turned around to face them, I began to receive their help. So when we have nightmares, even though the experiences of these dreams, the experience of fear is unpleasant, what I really think we need to do is find the courage to face our fears. And when we find the courage to face our fears, we can change in a deep way. Now, when children have nightmares, it's often particularly disturbing to the parents. And I think when a child has a nightmare, it's good to talk over with the child what was happening in the dream, and without judging the dream in any way, without making too many comments, but just to listen to the child and try to understand what the child is expressing, what really triggers the fear in the child. If you can learn to do that with your child's dreams, you can also build up a more trustful relationship with your child and encourage the child to share feelings with you, which I think is such an important thing. And so instead of discounting the dream, we ought to, in fact, express to the child that the fear you're feeling is a real feeling, and that it's something you may feel also in waking life. We might ask the child, when have you felt this way when you're awake? And that can be an opportunity to open up a real conversation with the child about what he or she is feeling in waking life as well. So instead of discounting the dream and saying it's only a dream, instead we ought to validate the feelings in the dream and help the child talk about them by talking about the dream. This is Rodger Kamenetz for Guideposts.com. I look forward to hearing from you, and I wish you happy dreaming, and I wish you courage when you have fear in your dreams.